Pale Grey Monochrome is the third full-length album from French melodic death doom metal band Inborn Suffering. This is a group that has been around for quite some time, but they took quite a long break in between records. As far as I know, they split up sometime after their second record. They made kind of a big splash in their general French scene for melodic metal at the time with their first record. They were heavily influenced by the obvious subjects, and their sound initially reflected the sort of early Peaceville 3 sound where death metal was still an important component of the doom involved. And while that is a generic way to describe music that was not all that original, it was gothic death metal of maybe a more interesting order for people who are interested in death metal and the riff. The reason that I ever checked out this band was because it was linked up to Ningizia, which is the main guitarist and I believe main songwriter's prior band, which was maybe more of a melodic death doom and funeral doom fusion with keyboards and symphonic element. Really great demo and album from that band. It's worth checking out. This was maybe more of a straightforward melodic death doom metal sound, and by the second record they found really the proper fidelity for the time. It was the early 2010s, and it was a strong record. For me, it just didn't stand out all that much at the time. What's new so many years later, and why come back and restart the whole idea? Well, let's get to a song here, and then I'll talk about the major successes of the return of this band and why it's both a little bit too familiar, but also pretty good because of it. Gothic and melodic death doom metal generally lives and dies by how believable its pathos is. Inborn Suffering finally kind of get that part of their music right with this record and their return. Really, a key point of that is the fact that the lead guitars are so strong. In the past, this was a band that told their story with rhythm guitar, and they really wrote their songs around riffs and not complicated ones. They were really etching out melodies with the rhythms, and here the lead guitars really direct a lot of these bigger, longer songs into meaning and guide them through their tunefulness. And I think that even an 11 or 12-minute song that has a chorus and a memorable part and doesn't drift off into space just for the sake of it really is still an effective thing, especially in this subgenre. They really get that part right, and there is a funereal sense within these long, 12-minute songs as they pass by. If we consider label mates Ataraxy, that's much more on the funeral doom metal side, so this is just on the tip of that. It is gothic metal to an extreme, but for the hour that they burn through, there's a lot more of the death metal feeling to it. There is more of an attack to some of it. There's a lot of just big guitar sounds. There's a lot of riffs. There's a lot of kind of dueling guitar moments that help add some texture to the misery that they're conveying. It's sort of the graying and the death of the world, as it were. One of my only gripes with this record, I think the production values are fine. I think the album art is evocative, and I think it really speaks to a certain subgenre where they fit neatly. Only issue is that the lyrics are incredibly verbose. There's a lot of talking, there's a lot of singing, there's just a lot of vocals on this record, and it doesn't give those moments where you're left to feel anything, and that's really an important part of a record that is an hour long and just a handful of songs that are 10, 15 minutes apiece. So all that I needed here was a break from the verbosity of it, from all of the lyrics, and maybe I'll feel differently once I have the lyrics in hand. It was a bit too much, and it felt like they kept interrupting the profundity of the moment too often. Otherwise, I think this band has returned to pretty strong results, stronger than anything they've done before, and certainly more memorable. This doesn't feel so much like a subgenre entry. It really is genre entry music. The point where they're entering is authentic, it's well produced, and it does seem like it is genuine in what it's conveying here. And overall, I thought it was a strong example of melodic death doom that doesn't really mess around with too much of the gothic stuff and still manages to make entertaining 10 to 12 minute songs. Strong record. I think it's worth recommending and checking out. It released on February 7th, so you can listen to it now, or you can go to the site and read my review, get most of my thoughts, and see what you think.